We were in Vancouver this last week. It's a beautiful city. Sits right on the water on the west coast. You can look across the bay to some beautiful mountains. So you can be in Vancouver. Sometimes it's warm, I hear. It wasn't when we were there. And look up at the mountains, and there's snow on the top of the mountains right across the bay. It's a beautiful city. Very livable, very pretty. But like any big city, it is filled with the broken. Some of these people are physically broken. Like the woman begging, sitting on the seat of her walker, right in front of the Pan Pacific Hotel on the waterfront. $250 a night. There's somebody begging outside it. Many of the other people that I saw on the street there are broken in a less definable way. The people with the anxious, desperate faces, holding out the empty cups, still a little bit of coffee in the bottom, wanting a coin. The seedy, dirty, homeless men in the park. It's a beautiful park with a little homeless encampment. Donna had a nice chat with some of them. Those of you who know Donna won't be surprised at that. The same men nursing a coffee in the warmth of the 24-hour McDonald's. Some of these broken people have been lying in their porticos for years, and no one has bothered to stop. Well, Jesus calls us to stop. In John's version of the Ascension Commissioning, Jesus tells the disciples, "As the Father has sent me, so I send you." Or again, "Just as I have loved you, you should also love one another." Where the other Gospels appeal to us to see Jesus in others, John appeals to us to be Jesus to others. Jesus calls us to stop, to tend to others without judging, like a mother tends to her child. Jesus calls us to pick up the broken, to bring them to the pool of his healing. God will provide the healing, but he calls us to do some of the lugging. Now, that's not very easy. That job is sometimes dirty. It's sometimes distasteful. It's often thankless. It's apparently fruitless. I can promise you that somebody's lugged those homeless men at McDonald's to the very edge of the water 100 times. And every time they've turned away and gone back to the bottle. The job brings us too close to our own demons, brings us too close sometimes to our own mortality. But if God asks us to do it, God will also provide us with the strength to do it. Why is this so important? Why do we need to act this way to others? Well, because the Gospel of John tells us that this is the way the kingdom of God comes to us. In our reading from Revelation today, St. John the Divine, another John, don't get the two Johns mixed up, looks forward to a kingdom of God sometime in the future, in some perfect time. In contrast, John, the author of the Gospel, saw the possibility of new life if we would love one another now. If we love one another, the kingdom of God is now. Finally, in today's reading from Acts, Paul, who's a man of great faith, hears a plea in a dream. In a dream. And responds to it by crossing the Mediterranean Sea. Not a small task, even today. I don't have that kind of faith, to cross the Mediterranean on the strength of a dream. But I pray, however, that God will give me the faith to be able to respond when the plea comes from someone right in front of me. For every time one of us responds as Jesus would have us do, we bring the kingdom of God closer, right here, right now.